Michigan, UConn Saturday, 12 o'clock at Michigan Stadium. The Wolverines, major favorites for 3 straight games. Some people are calling this maybe the easiest out-of-conference schedule in not just Michigan history, but maybe in the history of the Big Ten. Saw today Hawaii and Colorado State. CBS Sports ranked them as the 2 worst teams in college football, D1, FBS college football so far. And they're taking off, I think they're like the 13th or 14th worst UConn on that list. Michigan favored by 47.5 points. That means their combined 3-game favorite mark will be, I think it's like 134 points combined. Those 3 games they would have been favored by. The march to 200 points in a month is upon us. I think Michigan's going to definitely hit that 50-point mark again in this one. Over-under is 60 for this matchup, Michigan, UConn, 12 o'clock on ABC on Saturday. What I want to know from you guys, folks, is go ahead and predict the halftime score. What we found out the last 2 weeks is it is way, way, way too hard for these massive mismatches for us to kind of even have a guess of what the game score will be, because Michigan just hasn't played their starters past the second quarter. I guess Cade McNamara got 1 or 2 series in the opener, but JJ, he scored that touchdown 42-0 at halftime, and then Michigan only scored 14 points the rest of the game. So predict the halftime score, folks. My prediction for this one at halftime, 38-3, Michigan will be up. I would guess if Michigan played the whole starters, they could easily score 70 this one. I'm sure it'll probably be the final outcome will probably be something like we saw against Hawaii, where it'll be Michigan in the low 50s, and UConn will probably score anywhere from 3 to 13 points in the game. So that 47-point spread, that sounds about right. All right, let's take a look at the best questions I received. And not maybe that these are all the best questions, but maybe the best of the first wave of questions that we got on Twitter, on the YouTube channel here, and on the Michigan Football Report Facebook page. Put out a mailbag call on Wednesday afternoon, and here we go. Adam Petrone. That's a pretty cool last name. I don't know if it's pronounced like Patron, but it could be Petrone. Last I heard, was over the scholarship limit. Is that still the case? And if not, who has left the program, right? I believe he's referring to a tweet that was put out there. It's like Scholarship Watch or something like that on Twitter. They're trying to cancel people or embarrass college football coaches that are over scholarship limit because they might have to pull someone's scholarship last minute. I think that stuff happens a little more at the Alabamas and schools like that. What happens with Michigan, though, is that there's a lot of guys that get scholarships in the spring after guys go to the NFL, leave the program, summer school, and they have a conditional scholarship as a walk-on in the fall. If Michigan has guys leave and they have extra money, the guy gets the top walk-ons get scholarships. But what will happen here is walk-ons will lose scholarship money last minute if Michigan doesn't have the expected attrition that they would have from last year's players, or if a recruit that was expected to come in either decides to not show up to campus or doesn't have the grades last minute, something like that. So there was I haven't been able to look into this deeply or even reach out to anybody at the time, but what we saw was that Michigan was at 89 scholarships going into fall camp. Can only be at 85. So potentially 4 players that were walk-ons that had got a scholarship, not even just this year. They might have got a scholarship 2 years ago, and if continued it, they could have potentially lost it. Now, what could happen, though, is that Michigan puts them in front of the line to get some sort of academic grant, so they're not hit with this big bill. And then you never know, name, image, and likeness money. You don't think Jim Harbaugh could call up a car dealership or somebody and say, hey, this kid's got to pay $12,000 for scholarship, for tuition this month. This semester, we didn't account for it. Want to give them a little name, image, and likeness deal? That's kind of the cool part about NIL. So hopefully that happens. Hopefully that's what's going on with those guys who may have lost out on their scholarship money, the walk-ons, last minute. You saw that question coming from our Facebook page. We are 66,000 strong on Facebook. Michigan Wolverines by Chat Sports, the official Facebook page of the Michigan Football Report here on YouTube. You see the link down below me. It's facebook.com/HarbaughGoBlue. You also see that link down in the comments, and I'll put it right at the end of the first paragraph of the description. So go down there, click it, join the party. We put all kinds of stuff on there in addition, not necessarily original videos like this, but all kinds of Michigan-related content on that Facebook page. So go to Facebook, facebook.com/HarbaughGoBlue. Join 66,000 Michigan fans strong. From the YouTube community, odds on JJ being the the cover of the next college football video game next year. So if you didn't know, EA Sports with name, image, and likeness, they pulled the game about a decade ago because of the Ed O'Bannon, name, image, and likeness lawsuit. Oh, that guy's got my number. He's playing like me at quarterback, whatever the position is. I want money. Couldn't do it. when I go with the game, it's still a cult classic a decade later. Denard Robinson being the last player on NCAA 14, which I think was released in summer of 2013. There's some rumors out there, folks. I have the first copy, from what I have been told, of a potential leaked EA Sports. It's not going to be called NCAA football, College Football 24, coming up here in just a minute. But before we do, I want to tell you guys about our sports book partner. Been with us for 3 straight seasons. That is BetUS. Michigan's 1-1 against the spread. I think there were 12-2 or 11-3, whatever it was, last year against the spread. One of the best teams, I think actually the best, against the number in college football. Can't tell you if I want to bet that 47-point spread, though, but I love Michigan as a 24-point favorite in the first half. Go bet at BetUS, chatsports.com/GoBlue. Get you a 125% deposit bonus. Simple math. If you're not good at it, you don't have a calculator, put in 100, you got an extra 125. Put in 2, an extra 250. And up from there, you come in $500, get $625 in bonus money. You lose a couple bets, no big deal. Doesn't even go into your real money. You're still using your bonus money. I put out my college football bets every single Saturday morning, unless I'm in Ann Arbor with no Wi-Fi, like this past Saturday. So make sure you check out my bets. Bet and win with me and use BetUS, chatsports.com/GoBlue. Promo code GoBlue. All right, so this was an interesting question because it came the right question at the right time where there's a little bit of chatter. And I think about what the NCAA college football game next summer will be released, what it will look like. It'll be the first time that an active player will have the opportunity to be on the cover, right? In years past, it'd be like a guy who was already done with his rookie year because the game is released that summer. It's usually a player from like a year and a half ago. That's kind of how it was with Denard Robinson. He was done the 2012 season. It didn't come out for 6 months or so later, I guess, so 6 months later, whatever it is. But it's never been an active player with name, image, and likeness. EA Sports could go to a big-time college star and say, hey, here's $500,000. We want you to be our cover guy. And I thought about it a little bit, and we'll talk about my thoughts here in a second. But I've got producer Jack in my ear, big-time Reddit guy. He says, James, the / college football big-time rumors thread on Reddit has delivered this to him. I don't know about you, Jack. That looks pretty damn real, okay? This has been leaked here on the internet. I don't know the source of it by any means. I will say, whoever designed that, pay that man big money because that's one of the best designs for a video game I've ever seen in my life. This is out there featuring Chat Sports at the bottom. That's a pretty interesting concept there, but this could potentially be the cover of the video game that I have no doubt will break records for sales come July of 2023. It's typically when they release it, the Tuesday after 4th of July, if I recall from back in the day, where I'd wait in line at GameStop or Best Buy at midnight the night before, going back 20 years or so. So that is the potential leaked cover with JJ McCarthy on the cover of the PlayStation 5 EA Sports College Football 2024. But I want to know from you guys. Research department here at Chat Sports has put together 3 names, the most likely players to be on the cover next year, if it is in fact a existing player. JJ McCarthy, Quinn Ewers at Texas, because he's a good player and he's hurt right now, but he'll probably be one of the top players returning next year, especially with that hair. He's got a lot of cover appeal. And then Caleb Williams, as of right now, the projected number 1 pick in the 2024 NFL draft, was at Oklahoma, now as a sophomore at USC. These are the 3 best quarterbacks in some way, along with Kyle McCord at Ohio State from that 2021 recruiting class. Ewers elected to go a year early. So let me know who you think of these 3 guys has the most likely chance to be on the cover of EA Sports College Football 24. Type JJ for JJ McCarthy, QE for Quinn Ewers, or CW for Caleb Williams. If I see any Quinn Ewers, though, I might just lose my mind. So let's get those JJs going in the comments. From the YouTube community, Bill Graves says, do you think we will use spread look now more with JJ at QB or stick with our current offense? I almost kind of think he means our last year offense, or the offense that you've seen with Jim Harbaugh in the past, because the current offense really with JJ for 11 snaps against Colorado State and then in the first half against Hawaii outside that one Cade series, it's been pretty damn shotgun heavy. So take a look at the numbers right now. Michigan, the number 19 offense in the country from a yardage perspective, putting up 514 a game. I think they could easily be in the top 3 to 5 if they would have played their starters even into the third quarter, but nevertheless, number 19 in the country. 263 yards passing. Wild stat, 263 a game only gets you number 55 overall in the country through 2 weeks. 251 yards rushing, very balanced, number 10 rushing offense in the country. And then Michigan tied with James Madison and USC, the number 1 scoring offense in the country. Folks, they were incredibly shotgun heavy. I watched the Big Ten in 60 on Big Ten Network again this morning and was trying to chart the plays, but got distracted, all this different stuff, my dog, my son, etc. But where I saw it, Michigan was in shotgun at least two-thirds of the plays, at least that I saw. You can fact check me on that. Maybe I'm wrong, which is a much higher percentage than they were last year with Hassan Haskins and Cade McNamara. So this offense already very shotgun heavy, doing a ton of read option. And if you look back at that Ronnie Bell touchdown, that was a true RPO play where McCarthy had the opportunity to hand the ball off to the running back, saw the linebackers crash in, pulled it back at the last second, fired downfield. Ronnie Bell in traffic caught the touchdown before the safety came over the top and kind of gave him a big shoulder to the chest and then into the head. But Michigan already is very shotgun heavy. From what I saw on Saturday, this offense is nowhere near the offense we saw last year with Cade McNamara, Hassan Haskins, and some other players there for Michigan. We finally did it. I've been bugging you guys for weeks. We've hit 21, maybe like even a month or so now, 21,000 subscribers just a little bit ago. So want to sincerely thank everyone who subscribed, supported us. We read all the comments, myself, the producers, everybody here really appreciates what you guys are doing for us. If you've watched the show in the past, haven't subscribed, we'd certainly appreciate it. We think we do a good job. We try and give you relevant, no spin Michigan football news, rumors, information, and analysis. And for those of you guys who have, now's the time. Send it to a friend, right? Get your friend in the community. Give me a little nudge. Say, watch the show. And definitely appreciate, I couldn't tell you how many Yoders I got across the parking lots, walking the stadium, in the stadium, was hanging out right outside Michigan Stadium, kind of the student entrance on Saturday night during the rain delay. My sister's wearing a shirt that said our family name on it because of a medical situation that somebody has. And a guy's like, "Are you a fan of James Yoder's show?" And funny enough, she's like, "No, this is for somebody else in our family." But why do you ask? He's right here. Didn't get a chance to catch the kid's name, but if that was you underneath the awning of the building that met my sister, that met me, make sure to get in the comments. Let me know your name. Maybe we'll send you a little Michigan football report gear or something. Jacob Miller from our Facebook page. The way that JJ is performing in his first start, and what does that say? And how shall the OSU victory over Notre Dame is looking? It is ludicrous to think that Michigan could run the table on the regular season and have their first undefeated 13-win season. Yes, absolutely. I don't think Ohio State has looked at that good. I don't think that C.J. Stroud is a guy that really instills fear in me to the Michigan defense. I think JJ McCarthy could definitely go head-to-head with him in a scoring battle or even a low-scoring game or a running battle like it was so last year. But my biggest thought on what Michigan has right now this year and next year, folks, is this is Jim Harbaugh's national championship window, right? He's already won a Big Ten championship last year, and I think he's got this year and next year. Michigan is not the most talented team in the country. They don't have the most 5 stars, the most 4 stars, but what they are going to have is, I truly believe right now, the ability to go head-to-head with all those teams, the Alabama, USC now with Caleb Williams, of course, Ohio State, Georgia is looking a little better on offense, and say, hey, last year it was Georgia got up 14-0. The game was basically over. They were so much more athletic on defense than Michigan was on offense. I think JJ McCarthy could be the equalizer there. So this year in 22-23, Harbaugh could run off 3 Big Ten titles. If he does, it's the best streak of Michigan in 20-plus years since the early 2000s with Lloyd Carr. But if Michigan's going to win a national championship under Jim Harbaugh, I think it's this year or next year. And, he'll have plenty of opportunities if he stays in the future. But I don't see the path to that as bright as it is potentially in the next 2 seasons. Beat Ohio State again, though. We saw the question about Ohio State and their hollow win over Notre Dame that lost to Marshall the next week. So, is Ohio State better than Marshall? Not really sure. But we have been chanting this mantra now for 2.5 years, I think it is, right? Started 2020, didn't play the game. 2021, obviously, we brought the victory to the Big House, and we're going to continue it win down in Columbus this year with JJ McCarthy as quarterback. So go down in the comments, folks. If you've been with us in the BOSA train, beat Ohio State again. Comment BOSA below. Let's see who's repping the BOSA train, and tell me when the first time you heard BOSA. Like, hey, I've been with you since 2020 on that, or hey, just heard it for the first time. If it's no, you must be a fan of another team, but, give me your reasons if it's no that Michigan will not beat Ohio State this year. I certainly think that they have as good of a chance they had since at least 2016. Little D, proud American. Question for Jack, producer. Jack, do you think this is Little D proud, like he's got a little D, or Little D like David, his dad's big D or something like that, proud American? Which one? He's a proud American. Okay, Jack, that says it. That's what I thought. But maybe, maybe he's proud of his little D. Maybe he's the motion in the ocean. JJ is the right man for the job at QB. He's the best I've seen in years. I think a lot of people are echoing that right there, little D. Other question coming in from Chills, one of our first commenter club from our show on Tuesday. Could JJ change Michigan's offense and turn them into an Alabama-type offense and maybe flip some possible recruits? Maybe, right? Jadyn Davis. I don't know about CJ Carr. I think Michigan has kind of turned their attention elsewhere. Maybe Dante Moore, right? You saw the show yesterday. The whispers out there about Dante Moore. I certainly think Jadyn Davis is Michigan's to lose at this point. It's been a hell of a start for JJ McCarthy. If he can keep it up, right? 15 of 16 through 2 games. Those are crazy stats. I mean, I'll tell you what. If he goes something like 14 of 16 or 12 of 15, 14, and 75, 80% or higher this week with 250 yards and a half and 3 touchdowns again. I mean, the hype train for that program, for JJ McCarthy, hell, for this show is going to be off the charts. If you saw my video last week, I think it was on Friday, I'll link it down in the comments too. I said JJ McCarthy has a chance to be a program changer for Michigan, just like Tua was at Alabama, just like Dwayne Haskins was at Ohio State, and of course maybe Baker Mayfield in some regards at Oklahoma, and Deshaun Watson back in 2015 at Clemson. Take really good programs that have great talent, great defense, great head coaches, and put them into an elite stratosphere, national championship, consistently stratosphere, where they not only have the best athletes, the best coaches, the best facilities, but also an offense that can go head-to-head with anybody in the game. I think that's what we're looking at here with JJ McCarthy. Make sure, again, go ahead and like the Facebook page, follow us on Facebook, whatever you call it here on Facebook these days. I don't spend a ton of time on Facebook except for on our page. We're always posting stuff on there. I'm posting stuff on there, replying to comments, facebook.com/Harbaugh Go Blue. The link is right down below at the end of the first paragraph of today's description. Go support us there on Facebook. We'll be back tomorrow with another Michigan football video. Look at my little rumors coming up on that game for Saturday, Michigan versus UConn. Go Blue.